The Premier League table does not read well for West Ham right now, with the club sitting in 18th position with 4 points from 6 games. However, West Ham's performances have genuinely deserved better, in my humble opinion, whilst only a controversial VAR decision prevented us from earning a 2-2 draw against Chelsea on Saturday. And at a time when only 6 points off the top 6, David Moyes will not only be overly concerned yet while his players continue to produce displays which will eventually, fingers crossed, lead to more victories. And while this competition, the Europa League Conference, Europa Conference League, however you want to call it, represents a welcome break from domestic matters, it's also a tournament which West Ham will expect to win, depending on what kind of fan you are, given the level of investment over the summer. Regardless of the squad rotation, West Ham should possess more quality than the majority of other clubs involved on paper. And then we'll be motivated to start with a win, having come through the playoff rounds against Viborg. So with that in mind, I think it's time we take a little cheeky look at our opposition. Now, it's not going to be a long one, but we're just going to go in and have a little look and see what we know about Fcsb. Now, just like our own club, Fcsb have endured a dismal start to the new Romanian top flight campaign, collecting just 7 points in as many fixtures. Their solitary success was a comeback 3-2 win against opponents who played with 10 men from the 7th minute, and they also appeared to be heading out of the competition when behind to Viking in the playoff round. However, they bounced back from defeat to win the home leg 4-3 on aggregate, securing their first appearance in the main stages of a European competition since they reached the last 32 in the Europa League in the 2017-18 season. So there you go. That is who they got through and beat the last time around. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the players, etc. God, the sun is shining here, and it's totally taken away my face from the screen, so I do apologise for that. Nikolai Dika may revert back to the team, which secured a win over Viking in Norway, with changes to the side leading to the defeat in the following match. And this is the current coach of Fcsb. Andrea Compagno, let me see if I've got him here, which I do somewhere. I've got loads of players for you to talk about. Here he is here. He scored in the most recent fixture and could keep his place in attack ahead of Bogdan Rusu and Ioannis Stoica. So apologies for my pronunciation here. Couple of players we need to keep an eye out for is Radunovic. He is their penalty taker, and he's pretty lethal in front of goal when he does take a penalty. Popescu, was their second highest goal scorer last season with 10 goals, because their top goal scorer did move to Al Jazeera last season as well. And they've got a top assister, Olaru. I'm terrible with the pronunciation, so I must apologise. And he got 9 assists last year, so we do have to keep an eye out for him as well. But I think we've spoke enough. This sun is ridiculous. I think we've spoke enough about Fcsb. It's time to talk about West Ham, innit? Now, before we get heavily involved in the West Ham chat, I'm going to bring your attention to the chat and see who is in there, and we'll all have a little chinwag with each other. Even though, trust you're all well in the chat. Good to see you, Darren. David M is saying, hi, Russ. Did West Ham beat Zagreb last season away? It's not Russ, it's Anton. And yes, we did, thanks to Mr. Declan Rice and Mickey Antonio as well. And obviously, Thomas Tuchel has left Chelsea, which is a bit of a crazy decision on their behalf. But hey-ho, that's what happens at Chelsea. Afternoon, chaps. 2 up, 2 down hammers. Peter's there. Good afternoon, Antonio and fellow chatters. I have a feeling there will be a few more sackings coming up soon. It's so early in the season, I can't believe that already 2 managers have gone already. Are you eluding, no, Peter, that maybe West Ham could be one of the teams that could do it, because I don't think that will happen. I'm not saying you are, but just let me know. David M is saying hi, Anton. Hope you're well. Adam Cook's in the house. Afternoon, Anton. Hope everyone are well. Come on, you irons. We will go on a run sooner or later. I'm not worried at all. And I think, yes, you're right, mate. I think it'll all be down to whether or not what West Ham turn up, what I think the momentum and the consistency of trying to get goals scored and winning games definitely helps us as well. Afternoon, Anton and all. Fred, am I growing that beard for charity? No, I am trying something a bit different. I don't know how long more I'm going to last, because I've never had the hair this length before, but we'll see. We'll keep it in sync. Don't you worry. Ludders is in the house. Good for you. David M, I did not expect the Chelsea news. I think anyone did, to be honest. Razor Johnson, good day, Hammers. Hi from the land of Oz. Thank you for joining us, Jordan. Hi all, good to see you. The FCSB coach is said to be under pressure and could face a sack if results don't improve. Absolutely. Too many people think every game is easy. It's the Premier League, the hardest league in the world, but we will go on a run. Have faith. Absolutely. Personally, I'm hoping the Chelsea firing has everything to do with him backing up cheating players and even encouraging it. Ruins the game. I would take a win over Newcastle over a win tomorrow. That's interesting. Put your chat comments in and let me know what you thoughts are on that comment there from Peter. I think we'll win tomorrow. Kamaka to get on the goal sheet as well. Afternoon all from Martel. Hi Anton, thanks for the video as always. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. Don't have to thank me. Thank you for joining us. Afternoon, chaps and chipettes. Bones on the bench. We'll talk about that in a minute. David Stacey, afternoon. Epic hashtag, we should have the same courage to sack Moyes if it doesn't turn things around. If Paqueta and Scamacca start, there will be many goals. Moyes will just play all the normal suspects. Happy to see Tuchel get the sack. Karma is a bitch. I disagree. Better FCSB than the Newcastle will all be rosy. Anton is going for the hobo look. Thank you very much for the kind words. I love you, Epic. Toby Sampson's in the house. Irons, good to see you, my friend. All talking to each other. Lovely as well. Lee, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are well as well. Now, listen. I did manage to sit down with the old man, with the geezer, with my dad, as we discussed a few things about the Europa Conference League. So go and check out this video. So West Ham get our Europa Conference League group stage campaign underway with a contest against Fcsb on Thursday evening, the team formerly known as Steaua Bucharest. And at a time when West Ham are occupying a spot in the Premier League relegation zone, FCSB find themselves towards the bottom of the Romanians' equivalent. Now, I'm joined by my dad again for this preview. Hope you are all keeping safe and well as always. If you are new around here, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Hit that button because it does help us out and it pushes our subscriber count up there. So you do that button. Then beside that, there is a bell notification as well. Now, I'm going to get my dad involved in here. Dad, how you feeling on the back of not a great result against Chelsea?
Well, apart from the decisions that we had against us in the match, yeah, we definitely should have had a point coming away from that. But we all know that after the VAR decision. So,
how much does really crap officiating and something so blatant like that affect the morale of the team, in your honest opinion?
It's difficult. I mean, I came, when I was brought up, there was no such thing as VAR. So it's difficult, to sort of gauge what it might be like. I can only really go by over the years what referee decisions were and how bad they were sometimes. But the VAR, I mean, it exploded the weekend. I think when you saw it on TV, the pundits talking about it, experienced players and that, and experienced commentators that we respect, down in it as much as they did, then I mean something's got to be done, and that affected us. That definitely affected I feel after that decision.
So for anyone that's watching, my dad is a Cockney. However, for some reason, when he does these streams, he decides to be a little bit posh and a little bit American. So just for anyone that knows, he talks a little bit like that. So anyway, we'll move on from it. So yeah, I mean, it was bad officiating. I mean, sometimes it's blatant. The rules of VAR. We've gone over it so many times on the channel, but I haven't had you on, so it's just interesting to hear your point of view. But the whole point of VAR was being designed to come in and not have any negative impact on a game moving
And
forward.
it's
But
had massive negative effect on a lot of clubs over this past week. I mean, we've got to bounce back from that now, and we've just got to get on with playing our next game and see if we can get a result from that. That's all we can do.
And I suppose it's disappointing because we came off of 2 victories on the lead up to the Chelsea game. Viborg, and then we had Aston Villa, Viborg, and then Spurs. So it was a good run of games, a little run we put together. Disappointing we couldn't have walked away with a point at Chelsea. However, we now move into the Europa Conference League. Different from the Europa League. The stadium's looking like it's not going to be filled. Bit disappointing.
Yeah.
However, I can't say that because we're not going.
No, we're not.
But it is disappointing to think that, I mean, it is the league below the Europa League. So does that...
Have they reduced the prices for the tickets?
Yeah, I think they have. I think they have. But either way, it seems to be that maybe people are not taking it as serious as the Europa League. Do you see it like that?
No, I don't. I mean, I looked at the all the matches last year, and I looked at what we were in, obviously. And then if you looked at the Conference League, I mean, that was the teams were up for winning that. And so why wouldn't we want to be competing in it? Of course we do.
I think there's no ifs or buts about it. Moyes and the players are definitely up for this campaign. It just seems to be maybe if the fan base think a bit differently about it. I mean, we've got to remember though, Leicester, Roma, PSV Eindhoven, all big clubs have got through to the end of it, and obviously Roma now are playing in the Europa League from winning the competition. So that's a guaranteed slot into the next. And it is an incentive.
It is an incentive. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at that last year with Roma, I mean, there couldn't have been more an exciting run up and an exciting finish to the game with that. I thought that was brilliant last year, the Europa Conference. So why can't we get a piece of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think then the question is, if the stadium isn't going to be full, do you think that after such success of the Europa League campaign last year, that the players that were there and part of that would feel that impact from because fans do carry teams. The 12th man, they always say it. Like you grew up being a positive during a positive West Ham time, winning cups. You've seen us win it all. Yeah. And there was always a strong following there. But you must have felt like sometimes you took the team to the next level. Yeah.
And well, I suppose so. I mean, when I think back to when we won the cup in 65, yeah, it was 65, yeah. When there was 80,000 of us there. If that didn't carry, nothing would. So yeah, the fans do make the difference, and yes, it would be brilliant if we could get that stadium filled up. But as you said, it could be perhaps the fans are thinking, "Oh, this is a Conference League; it's not as good, etc., etc." But you made the point. Incentive is there. Win it. We get into the next stage. We're there.
Yeah,
so we're going to win it.
And also, to be fair, like with the rising costs of everything, the cost of living, etc., I can fully understand why people don't want to put out extra money when they don't necessarily need to. However, coming on to the game itself, we've played against Chelsea and we saw a couple of players, or in particular one player who I want to talk to you about, who came off the bench and made an immediate impact by hitting the post and scoring a goal that should never have been disallowed in Maxwell Cornet. Should he start, not just for the game against Fcsb, but moving forward in the Premier League? Do you think he's kind of showing, what he's capable of doing?
I think he has done, yeah. And I like him. I think he came on there. He showed some class. I mean, the header he put, the one that hit the post was a good one. And yeah, I think he showed some class when he came on. Why not give him a try?
I just think, when Max Cornet came on, he gave us a bit of a boost and a bit of a lift, and he made progressive moves forward. And that's what they're always talking about, especially, in modern day football. Every move, every pass should be progressive pass. And his running really... I found his spatial awareness of the game very, very good. He's also got Premier League experience. Now, I know this isn't the Premier League we're talking about on Thursday, but he's not had a huge amount of run of games in the team. He's coming off the bench. He has been starting the games in the Europa League Conference, especially against Viborg. So is this an opportunity? And a kind of double-barred question, if you start him against FCSB, is he then capable of starting the game on Sunday against Newcastle?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, he's got to see what he does coming on for the European game. However, why not? I mean, all the players have got to get used to this playing. It's not as if they're asking anything different. I mean, players are playing on a Thursday, they play on a Sunday. So, yeah, why couldn't he start? I mean, if he does well, and that could be an impact, which he made, then put him in for the Premier League as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to kind of team selections, you know, we've been missing Skamaka for the past couple of games due to an illness. It's not an injury, and we're led to believe he's back in training. He may feature of some sort. For me, it's time to kind of feel like it's time to unleash him now. It's time to give him his run in the team. He needs the consistency. So he needs the game. If he's going to be fit, he needs game time on Thursday on the lead up to the Newcastle game. What an opportunity for him, if he is fit, to come back in and try and hit the ground running, especially after having 2 goals and 2 starts in the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. And I mean, Antonio cannot do everything this year for us. We've brought in somebody there who, if you look at his goals that he scored in Serie A last year, I mean, he's just been. He was magical player for them, and he's done well for us. He's obviously embedding himself in, but Antonio himself has basically said that he needs to have somebody else in there to compete with him, but also to give him a bit of a rest. And I think, why not put the Italian in and go for it? Why not?
I think I understand squad rotation. I get it. We've got big players now. We've got a lot of players, got good strength and depth and quality in that strength and depth. Players like Said Ben Ramos had a great start to the season. You want to see him get a bit of a run out. You know, Afonso Areola is going to get in between the sticks again. I think that's going to be really good. Player that's coming back from his suspension in Europe is Declan Rice. He wasn't eligible due to the comments that he made after the game against Frankfurt in the semi-final of the Europa League last year, but he is back. And the thing is, you want every single player, the fittest players, to be available and play in this game. How important is it for us to get off on a good start in the group stages of the Europa League Conference?
I think it's massively important. I mean, if you think of Moyes, Moyes went on and on about getting us into Europe. And now we're in Europe. Like, we had that season last year, which all the fans loved. We all loved what happened last year, apart from obviously not getting to the final. But yes, I think that that Moyes will want that, and Moyes will want us to have a very, very successful run, I think, at this European thing. So why not go for it?
I think, you know, another question I've been asking everyone is, and especially coming from a very successful West Ham fan that you've been, if I said to you, West Ham win the Europa Conference League, win a cup in Europe, and finish 10th in the league, would you take that right now?
That's. I mean, I'd love to see us do well in the Premier League, but yeah, if that meant that we were guaranteed European football next year in the cup, we win the cup and we win we did win the conference and we moved on from that, and we're guaranteed then moving up another stage again. Yeah, I might take that. Might.
I think I would. I think the difference is you've seen us win stuff and I've not.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest difference. I would take that right now. I'd snap your hand off for that. But I think it's really important we try and get off to a good start in this Conference League. I think it's vital for us. Now, another thing, and the last point I want to make is, you know, Moyes seems to be fluctuating between a couple of formations. Would you use this game as the opportunity to try and flex that up a bit and try different things, or do you think he was going to want to go for, you know, the formation he wants to use for the rest of the season as such?
Well, I think the way Moyes analyzes things, he's already looked at this team. He'll know exactly what this team's all about, and therefore he'll decide himself now whether to change it up or not. We don't know that. We don't know the strengths. I mean, you've said it, it's Bucharest stuff. But if I go back over the years with them, they're a powerful team, very strong team. So it might be that Moyes has seen still that ingrained in that team. So therefore, he might have to be a bit more cautious. On the other hand, if he's seen them and he sees some weaknesses there and he feels that they're not as strong, like you said, they finished low down in the league, then he might go for it. Why not?
I don't see the harm in doing that as well. You know, they've got a good contingency. They've got a big stadium, even though the game is at the London Stadium. So they'll probably bring a good amount of fans. We've seen what the European fans are capable of doing, making a big noise. So we need to react to that as well. But the important thing for me is to get off to a good start in the group campaign. We saw how pivotal and how important it was that we did that in Europa League last year. We got off to a good start. So come the end of the group stages, when we gave the young ones a run out, and we got beat in the last game. It was a rubber match, they called it, the rubber ball match. It didn't really mean anything. We were already qualified, and it didn't necessarily mean anything. But a run out for some of the important players is going to be good. Getting off to a good start is obviously important. You're David Moyes. What are you saying to the lads on the lead up to this game, Dad? This is your final point.
Well, I think that to try and see if we can get some sort of a trophy back for the fans, really be nice this year, wouldn't it? I mean, we got close, very close last year. So Moyes is going to give them that input. He's going to tell them that we were nearly there last year. Why can't we repeat it? Why can't we go on this year and win it? And he's strengthened the squad to do it. So I mean, there's no just. He's going to do what he's doing all the time, really. Now he's not going to change his speeches or anything like that. He's going to be motivating. He's going to be doing analysis. He's going to be telling them what to think of the team before they play. He will get them up for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, thanks for watching. I hope you are all staying safe and well as per usual. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We're going to make this a regular feature. As much as he's going to be like under pressure to pull him over, but we're going to get him here. I know he's all want it, and that's really cool. We'll get the Oracle of West Ham information to you moving forward. So stay safe and come on, you. Don't you worry, I'm still here. It's just that was the chat that I had with my dad on relation to the game. I hope you have enjoyed that. That was good. I loved sitting having a chat with him. It's always good to get his input, especially from his experience of watching the teams. When I was explaining to him the situation about Fcsb and how they used to be known as Steaua Bucharest, he couldn't help but go back to the history of Steaua Bucharest and how they were a formidable force in Europe and all over, really, for such a long time. So over the next couple of, I'm not finished, by the way. I've got more to go through. I'm going to go through some team news, etc. as well. And make sure you do join me at 5 o'clock, where we'll cover the David Moyes press conference in the lead up to the game, where we'll find out a little bit more of the team news. However, over the next couple of days, we've got match day content for you galore. We're actually launching a new show, which is going to be Who Are You, in relation to Fcsb, a bit of their history, a bit what's currently happening, etc. at their club. We'll obviously do your starting 11, the 11 that you as fans who watched and subscribers of the channel have chosen as well. So we'll be doing match day mornings, of course we're doing match day lives, etc. It's relentless as we stand just now. But here is a little bit of team news for you now. So Declan Rice, as mentioned with my dad, is expected to make his first European appearance of the season after being suspended for the first 2 games in the playoff rounds. Although Moyes may stick with a back 3 from the weekend, changes will be made. You could have Ogbonna, Max Cornet, and Said Benrahma all in line to get opportunities to play today. However, what does that mean for the likes of Jared Bowen, a player that's not in form, that has been struggling as of late? Jared Bowen, is he due to get benched? Is he about to get rested? Or is he about to get dropped? Put your comments in and let me know your thoughts. He hasn't been there or thereabouts. However, the one thing I do notice with him is how dangerous he can be even when he's not performing well, and he does give us an outlet. So leave your comments in the comment section in relation to Jared Bowen. Or is it premature for a player that did so well last season that he should even be considered as being dropped? Goalkeeper Afonso Areola, as we mentioned, will probably start in between the sticks. It's going to give an opportunity for Lanzini to come through and get a nod. Flynn Downs, loads of people are calling for Downs to start in the midfield if Tommy Suchek has been rested, or will he play? And providing that he's recovered from illness, Scamacca could be considered as an alternative, of course, to Mickey Antonio. But I'm going to give you your chance right now to give me your starting 11 in the chat just now. So start putting your starting 11 in the chat. So put your predictions for your starting 11 in the chat as well. James, I've not gone. Don't you worry, mate. I feel bad for even thinking that you had to go, but you're not gone. But there are so many comments I'm going to go through before we do come back as well. Helen Luthers is saying, no, some fans are not bothering with the group stages. I'm only attending later games, which is not supporting the team. I think, to be honest, Luthers, it's really tough because I do see the prices are reasonably quite expensive. Now, I know there's been a package. Now, it's different from me because I travel. So I have to consider, my travel situation. I've got the kids, the wife's working, all that sort of stuff. So that's why I've not been to any games this season. And it is difficult to look at a stadium that could be potentially half empty or half full, depending on how you look at it. But with the rise of costs of living right now, I understand why people maybe wouldn't want to put their hand in their pocket for extra. It's tough. It's going to be tough. But for me, I think that the club have a duty of care to the fans to be able to go, do you know what? See, for these games, let's drop it. Like, what has happened to Kids for a Quid? Why are we not releasing that Kids for a Quid? Why are we not getting lots more schools in, especially on a midweek game at home in Europe? Like, let's fill that stadium. Let's go out and make sure we fill that stadium as well. I don't remotely deny that we've got the best fan base in the world, the fan base that will turn up to every single game, left, right, and centre. But yeah, it's tough just now. Some people who go bonkers have done qualify for the late stages. Absolutely. He is going to be getting his own YouTube channel. Not. Benny should start being our best player so far. Good to see you, Budgie. Thank you for joining us. I really want to see Benny on the left, Pac-Man 10, Bowen on the right. That would be a dream. And then the question we asked, which was, would you accept West Ham winning a cup and finishing 10th? And loads of you were saying, yes, I'll take it, but we will push for top 5. David M says he will take it. Absolutely. Peter, you did. Our Like My Old Man scene is actually win things, unlike the youngsters on here. Yes, well, don't worry. My dad absolutely rams it down my throat. Skamaka Paqueta, Corny Benny must be a foundation we build the team around. Pat Holland, cup and 10th. Absolutely. Paul says I'd take 15th and win the cup. I'd take 10th and a trophy, but a season of whining from the usual suspects would be unbearable. Do I think Downs will play? I don't know. It's a tough one when it comes to this one because it'd be nice to see him get a run out. However, I do know David Moyes will want to start off this campaign really, really well. And I have a thought process that he's going to go really strong. And I think we've got a strong squad. So what does strong look like? But I can't see Rice and Souček not playing this game, if I'm being brutally honest. And I know fan base might be a bit like, what's going on? But I think I could see one player who usually starts in the starting 11 coming out of the starting 11, and that would be Jared Bowen as well. Fremer, after the start of the season, it looks like teams like Spurs, Arsenal, sadly, are revitalised Man United. I can see sneaking into Europe this season. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Come on, West Ham, let's beat Fcsb 2-0. Are we out of Europe even if we win the conference? I assume that we are. Are we out of Europe even if we win the conference? If we win the Europa Conference, we can go into Europa League automatically next year as well. Just need to stay in the Prem. So what you're saying, Ludders, is you would accept any position in the league, as long as it's in the Premier League, as long as we win something. I probably would as well, to be honest. Downs needs to start with Souček. If he doesn't, it'll be like a very, very bad sign. Hope and Ashby will start also. Your dad is a great pundit, knows what he's talking about. Absolutely. That's why I'm going to try and get him on here as well. I've seen their admin, Mitch. Anyone doesn't know, Fcsb apparently has been putting stuff out on, is it TikTok or Instagram? One of those accounts, and kind of pretty much slacking off West Ham, but they're doing it to draw and bring in a bit of attention, and you know they know what they're doing. The Europa Conference League in 10th. I'd cut your hands off right now. Getting into Europe again would be a great season. Good morning, you lads. Play Bowen in Europe and drop for the Thun game. Good point. Somebody argued that Bowen should keep his place and try and get his form back. It's a good point as well. Bowen just needs a goal. Anton, how many teams drop into the Conference League from the Europa League? Are you talking about for the next stage, or how many have done? Because I believe there was 8 teams dropped in from the last stage, but I'll need to come back to you and let you know what happens at the next one as well. Scott is saying, I really should start every game. End of. We don't qualify through group. Do we drop down to Europa? Love it. Don't worry, you'll get 10,000 bunking in. Oh, I seen that video of the young lads that got into the stadium as well. So Areola, Emerson, Oggy, Kira, Ashby, Rice Downs, Benny, Paqueta, Corney, and Skamaka. That is a quality squad. The beauty of the squad as we now have is we can afford to drop Bowen, at least not to cover him or play. 3-1 is a good win and a good start for the team. David M says Areola, Creswell, Bona, Kira, Ashby, Rice Downs, Paqueta, Benrahma, Corney, and Skamaka. I mean, look at that lineup. I mean, it's still quality in that as well. I think the low attendance for early rounds are part of the course, but they should just cut ticket prices massively. It wasn't like that though for the Europa League last year, but I absolutely agree with you. I think that we should cut the prices to make sure the fan base does come, especially with the current state of affairs in the world that we are. Anton, I expected Bowen not to play, but it's not being done because of bad form. Just to keep Corney content, we'll be back for the next league game. They might make slightly less money, but considering how brand orientated many at club are, a bunch of empty seats, most glaringly obvious due back when the start away, looks shoddy. Absolutely, it does. And I've always said that, a lot of stadiums around the UK have empty seats. When I was at Old Trafford last year, I clocked it when you're there. I see it every year when I go there. There's quite a lot of empty seats, but because they're red, you don't get to see it. But West Ham seats are white, and because we wear the claret and blue, it's really noticeable. If we wore a white strip, you wouldn't notice it as much. But because we wear claret and blue strip and the seats are white, it's really noticeable. In our stadium, with this squad and money spent below 6 is a failure, in my opinion. However, Audi, I'm going to ask you a question, mate, because I don't think you've actually necessarily answered the question. Would you accept a cup win and finishing in the bottom half? There you go. Would you accept a cup, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa Conference League Cup, and finish bottom in the league? What would you do with that? Brighton have given Chelsea permission to speak to Graham Potter. Wow. Yep, it is a wow. If there's not a lineup, you'd like to play both Antonio and Scamacca, one target man, one poacher. It's a good shout. We could definitely try some things. It's a perfect chance to rest regular players without upsetting them and trying all our new players. I would put Ben Rama in Bowen's position. He is right-footed. Amazing Tuchel's been sacked for the same reasons why Moyes has been struggling with stubbornness, boring football, poor team selections, drop-off performance and form during 2020. Helen Ludder says, I saw those TikTok videos. Let's hope they do the same as we win against Leon and we were taking the P against us. Yes, good point, actually. Yeah, it seemed to rile the people up. And the fans actually spoke out and said that as well. Hi, Anton and Dad. You still have to take this competition with respect. Completely agree with you. How can an out and form player like Bowen keep other hungry competition be left on the bench? Bloody nonsensical fan thinking. If you are watching, get your score predictions in now and I'll finish off the comments as well. So many comments and I love it. It's great. It really, really is nice to see. How can an outformed player like Bowen keep a hungry competition be left on the bench? I've done that one, haven't I, Audi, as well. Chelsea managerless, just being sacked. Just play Paqueta, please. That's all I ask from Budgie. Kevin is saying, why are we expected to win? They are better teams in it than us. Kevin, I know it's easy for me to turn around and say that, but I think that the mindset of West Ham should be that you turn into this competition going to win it. Moyes has said that you go into the competitions to win the games. You go into competitions to win the competition. So we should really set the target of winning the competition, not going, let's get to the quarterfinals at least. It's nice that we got to the semi-finals, but you wanted to win Europa League, last year as well. Would the fans rather watch Cornelian playing well or Bowen playing bad? If Ashby doesn't start, there'll be a riot. EBF is saying I can't see us losing week in and week out and win a cup. I can't do it. Sorry. I think Ashby is injured. Didn't play for the under-21s. Couldn't have played Brighton this week, could we? We should be winning cup and finishing 6th with this squad. I'd take top 4. There you go, mate. There you go. David M is saying 3-0, please. Matt Foster is going for a 3-0 West Ham win as well. Budgie is saying 3-1 West Ham win and Corney to get at least one. Really impressed with what Corney can offer. Do you know what? I'm impressed with all the players that we've brought in. It's now time to bed them into the team, and that's what we want to see as well. Adam Cook is saying 3-1 to West Ham. Come on, you Irons. Ray West is saying, and we almost won the Europa League, and we've strengthened since then 170 million odd pounds. So why can't we the competition a tier below? That's my mentality. Seeing how physical this is from Scott Viborg, where I can see Moyes starting Fabs, Krez, Augie, Zuma, Sufal, Rice, Suchek, Bowen, Antonio Fornals. Fremer saying we absolutely have to win this tournament, especially because we will finish outside the top 6 this season. You're saying 4-0 to West Ham. Benny with at least 2. Richard is saying, sorry, I meant to say we're out of Europe if we win the conference, but do not finish top 6 in the Premier League. If we are out of Europe, if we win the conference, but do not finish top 6. No, we will qualify automatically for the Europa League, Richard. If we do win the Europa Conference League, that's the reward. You win the trophy and then you get the qualification to the tournament up from you from there. Rod Fontaine 4-1 West Ham. Lee stayed in the same 3-2 to West Ham. West Ham 2-0 win. Zuma should start. Andre is saying Stal 1-0. Hopefully not. James Bong, a 4-1 win should keep the doomy gloomies happy, but I doubt it. Ali is saying it's time to see Bowen, Maka, Corney, Bennett all together. And that's definitely a tasty proposition for you as well. Now, if anyone didn't see it last night, what an interesting result that was with Dinamo Zagreb against Chelsea. I mean, it's not easy to win away in Europe, is it? Especially against Dinamo Zagreb. If you look at all the clubs that recently have taken them on there, except for West Ham, because we've done a job on them. So we'll take that as well. I want a Conference League because it guarantees us European football next year. If we finish 10th, wouldn't mind because we were playing European football. Scotty says 4-0 West Ham. So there you go. Make sure you join me later on, Hammers Headlines, where we go over the press conference as well. So much stuff coming your way, so you do need to hit that cheeky subscribe button, because if you don't, then you won't know when our show's content comes out. Then if you hit the bell notification beside it, then you will then be notified when our show's contents come out. If you are interested in becoming a channel member, trust me, the members are about to get with a treat. The members are about to get a treat. We've just had a notification through from one of the channel sponsors, so we will be bringing that to you shortly. I'm not going to say it out loud, but if you want to become a channel member, you can click on the membership option. But every single channel member will be in for a treat very, very soon, so keep an eye on that as well. It's been amazing. Love having you all on. Go and get an iron brew. I will. Peter, I love you, mate. I actually think I do love you, mate. I really do. I love you all, but Peter, you especially, because you love digging me out. And I take it. Take it on the chin. I can take one. Not like Anthony Joshua. I can take one on the chin anyway. But listen, we'll see you at 5 o'clock for the Hammers Headlines. Much love. Stay safe and come on, you Irons.